welcome back to a trade recap. For today's or Friday's trade, I took 2 trades, and going into the day, my game plan was looking over this past week for both ES and NQ. We've been selling off, so looking at market open, I wanted us to manipulate downwards, which we did because we were accumulating basically over midnight and staying in this range. And what I wanted was price to come back into this for the fair value gap. Because we've been having such a big major sell-off this week, that's what my game plan was going into today or Friday. Yeah, let's go into it. And then since it's Friday, I have another thing I was looking forward to, which is a 15-minute opening range breakout, I guess. So we just mark out first 15 minutes high and low, and whichever we break first, that's our bias, like another bias going into the day, like another confirmation. But I took a trade before that, but we can see this. Let's go to the first trade. Well, looking at the news, we had 2 red folders. One at 7:30, which was core PCE price index, and then we had Trump speaking at 11:15, and that was over here, which I don't really trade. But yeah, so one to the 1 minute on NQ, we see that price just stayed within this range, accumulating over midnight. And what I wanted to see, and it played out exactly, was for both ES, let's go over there, ES and NQ to take out this sell side liquidity before distributing higher. We can see a AMD accumulation, manipulation, distribution, which we get. But going into the first trade, we come and sweep this sell side liquidity, and I wasn't worried that we were going to keep going like down, so I took this trade knowing, like, I just had high confidence with it. So this price played out exactly how I wanted to. 8:30 market open right here. I knew that we were going to come down, sweep this sell side liquidity, all of this, and once we did, we're gonna here, and I took longs right at this candle close, stop below here, targeting buy side liquidity. And I had break even here. I moved my stops to break even, which was good, worked out for me, because if we go to the 5 minute, we can see the series of down closed candles. This was the high of these series of down closed candles, but taking out the sell side, so I put break even here, and then full TP right up here. And going back to the 1 minute, we can see once this candle closed above this, I entered longs, and then we have the fair value gap here, which held. So bearish fair value gap here, which held. Yeah, with this candle, we inversed these. I don't mark those out, but so once we took out these highs up here for the 5 minute, as I said, I moved my stop to break even after this candle closure, and we can see that price came back down, didn't hit my stop loss at break even. I took 6 contracts off here, and then took the rest up here. And full TP here, that was the first trade on the NASDAQ or NQ, and it worked out perfectly. And then I took another trade. Let's go to the 4-hour candle. 9 o'clock. Open. Still. And what I wanted to see. And the 4-hour candle, 9-hour open. I wanted us to manipulate downwards before making more movement, more price to move up. And so since we just kind of just went up right away, I knew that we were going to have to manipulate downwards. So I marked out this 15-minute bearish fair value gap. And when price entered here, 15 for ES2. When price entered because I wanted price to come down and manipulate before making the move up higher, which it worked out perfectly, and it did, and I got the shorts to the downside, but we'll look into that right after. So get rid of market open here. So this is the 4-hour open, 9 a.m. and since we have the 15-minute fair value gap up here, you can see 9 o'clock open went up, didn't really manipulate anything, and we just came up right away. And you can see price came up into the fair value gap, creating a high here. What's that liquidity here? Going to the 15 or 1 minute candle on the ES. Same thing. Created this high here, which we took out on ES, and we caused S&T with considering alright, so we didn't take out this buy side, had an S&T. ES took out the buy side liquidity, and once we got, I'll put this back on there for ES, but once we got this buy side ran, and then these series of candles up, taking out the buy side liquidity, I was waiting for this candle to close below here, which it did in this candle. And so when it did, this was 10-11 here. So I took shorts. This candle, bow, high above here, targeting. So what I targeted, was it on? See this here, lows here, high, break even. But yeah, so I entered shorts. This candle closed. Stops above here. I know it was a big stop, so I didn't, and I already won, so I didn't go in heavy. I went lighter, and so I went in 5 contracts, not minis, micros. But yeah, so went in short here, and I took I scaled here, and then moved stops to break even. And as, like, literally in 3 minutes before, took partials, moved stop to break even, got stopped, and that was the last trade of the day. And it was perfect execution, I think, for me, on my end. Maybe the stop was too big, but I only went in light. It worked out perfectly, but as we can see, price did come down a lot more, which I could have, like, yeah, I could have held and had break even at this low. But since I was bullish on the day, I didn't want to hold or take that risk. So I took this short because of the 9 a.m. open. We didn't manipulate anything, and we just came up to this 15-minute fair value gap, and I saw the SMT buy side liquidity getting taken out, and it was holding. The 15-minute fair value gap was holding, so I took that short, and it was a good setup for me to take, and I took it, and it worked out. And as we can see, price did. This was the open of the 9 a.m. and as we can see, ES did take out these lows. Nasdaq didn't. Boom. SMT took this out. If I did want to take another trade, but this was during lunch, so I didn't, and I already took 2 winning trades, so I was good on the day. And since we had this sell side liquidity taken with SMT on NQ and ES, I could have taken a trade, but I didn't want to. Again, it was lunchtime, and we can see that after that, price ran. And so, yeah, that is Friday, February 28th trade recap. And I was trying to have the execution show, but like since I'm doing the trade recap late, I didn't do it on Friday. I'm doing it today. It's not showing. But those were the 2 trades I took, which worked out perfectly. So, yeah.